Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast, and we're here having a fantastic morning, and I hope you are as well, whether you're listening to this live or later. Just leave it in the comments. Hashtag later if you're going to be watching this in the future, or not now, or whenever. You know, it's like, and you can always find the replays at russjohns.com. And thank you so much for being here in the pirate community. And if you're not connected with us, get connected, reach out. All the guests become pirates. You're now a pirate.
Awesome. I'm excited to be a pirate.
So we have Sukhdev here, and is it Sukhdev? Sukhdev. And yeah. I just want to thank you so much for being here. And we're going to be talking a lot about things. We've had a couple of conversations now, and we're going to be talking about creativity, resilience, and some of the challenges of life and how we can overcome them. And just a little bit about, you know, being better than you can be from the person you were yesterday. You know, yeah. Let's use the challenges to join, kind of bring us to the next level. So how are you doing? How are you doing today?
Awesome. You know, it's 6 o'clock in the morning here. I was up at 4, just a little bit after 4. So I get started early, and yeah, I feel like I get more done when everybody else in the world is sleeping. I feel like I got that little bit of a head start. So it kind of gives me that little nudge to create.
Well, it's funny because Arizona doesn't do daylight savings. So half the year I'm in Pacific Standard Time and half the year I'm in Mountain Standard Time. So a lot of people have booked. I'm booking December now for the Pirate Broadcast and the guests up there. We're coming up on 300 episodes, and it's just been an amazing journey. And so I thank you and applaud you for being a pirate this morning and getting up and moving around and getting your day started early. So appreciate that. So we had talked earlier about the idea of how, you know, we've both been through some tragic times and challenging moments in our life, and walk people back into your story about, kind of where you developed the things that you're doing right now, and why it's important for us to understand about you and what you're doing today.
Okay, so I'm going to rewind like 20, maybe a little bit more than 20 years. So I was working, I lost my job, I lost the place where I was staying. So essentially I was kind of like, I guess, homeless. I wasn't homeless, but I didn't have my own home anymore because I couldn't afford anything. Lost my job, didn't have, luckily I paid off my car when I was like younger. I started working when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And even that was breaking down. The transmission was going on it and stuff. And so I ended up moving back in with my parents. And after about 6 months of living back at my parents' house, I kept thinking to myself, you know what, I thought I was a good person. I was doing the good, right things. And I went to this depression, anxiety, all this stuff started, and I didn't feel normal. I'm like, this doesn't feel like me. Like, these are weird feelings, and I don't know why this stuff is happening to me. And then it just like got worse and worse and worse.
Was it the feeling of like, this is not where I'm supposed to be, or was it feeling that this is not who I am?
Both, a little bit of both, I think. Like, I just felt this anxiety because I felt like I didn't have control of my life anymore. And I had like the depression kicked in because I was like, what am I doing today? There's nothing, I'm not going to a job. I wasn't even looking for a job. Like I just, the way I looked then, I probably looked more like a pirate because I let everything, like my beard grow out and stuff like that. And so then I remember I was in the bathtub and I was like crying, or in the shower, just crying. And I thought, this like really sucks. And I thought I had two choices. I could either end my life or I could do something that, because I didn't feel like I was going to get any lower. So I thought I have two choices, either to end it or I have to set some goal and not think about other people, set a goal for myself. And when I share this goal, I'm like people are going to like think that I'm crazy for wanting these sort of goals. So I decided to become a millionaire because, and I went for money because I was, broke and poor and all this stuff at the time, didn't have any money, borrowing coffee money if I did go out, which I hardly ever did. So I decided to become a millionaire, and I got out of the shower and I put myself in that zone, and I wanted to use real estate as my vehicle to get there. So I started looking at real estate. Long story short, like I gave myself 10 years to become a millionaire. I thought, well, I have to give myself some time. But every time I would share that story with my friends or family, people would be like, oh yeah, good luck. Like, it's not going to happen for you. And they laugh at me, right? And long story short, I ended up doing it in 5 years. So my 10-year goal, I reached in 5 years. Then everybody wanted to know, well, how'd you do that? Then they get interested.
Then they're interested.
Yeah. So, and even like a few years before, because I bought my first house, I think 6 months after I decided to set my goals. The second one I bought 6 months after that. The third one, it was a year after that, and then it was like one every year. So now fast forwarding, up to like 5 years ago, I was working at the #1 bank in Canada, and I was winning awards and doing really well. I was mentoring and coaching people, like the other staff. And then on my way to work one day, I was involved in a car accident. And like I hit my head and all the stuff because I called work, and I was calling my boss. Her name's Teresa. I was calling her my name. And I'm like, hey, Suk, I'm gonna be late. This is what happened. And she's like laughing at me. She's like, you're Sukhdev. I'm not Sukhdev. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry, Sukhdev. And and she's like, no, I think you should just go.
You're a little confused.
Yeah. I had a concussion and stuff, and and I must have been knocked out for I don't know how long, because when I was stepping out of the car, there's already a fire truck pulling up behind me, and I'm like, was this guy just driving by? Like, how did he just show up so quick?
Yeah.
So anyhow, so I was going to like physio and all this stuff from the accident and trying to get over these things. And again, like anxiety, like if routine gets thrown off, and anxiety and all that stuff kicks in again. And because I was going to the gym 5 days a week, I'd show up at the gym like right when they're opening the door and get my workout in. I felt really good about it.
Yeah.
And so 6 months, about 5-6 months after that, I started a gradual return to work. And on my way home from work this time, all this traffic was like lined up, and then this lady came flying behind me and boom, hits me. And I'm still going to treatment for my first accident, and then this just like messed me right up. And I got out of the car and I was like, why is this stuff happening to me? Like I was talking out loud. I'm asking like, as like, as if like somebody or something out there, like the universe can hear me. I'm like, why is this stuff happening to me? Like, why me? And I was almost like a victim mentality.
Yeah.
So I started feeling all these negative feelings again. I thought, you know what, this really sucks. Life isn't going my way. I was such a good person and I was doing so well. And you think about the things that you lost. You always like when you're in that situation, you're thrown into it. You think about the losses instead of what else it could mean, because there's you don't know any different, right?
Well, because you work so hard to achieve something, acquire that you don't know what you're doing next, because it's like, okay, now I'm in another car wreck. I'm already healing from the first one. I've already, it's just ridiculous to think, okay, well, what's going to happen next? So
yes. So with that, it was I started feeling all these similar feelings that I felt like 20 years earlier. And so they were so clear to me, and I almost like went back to like that day in the tub showering and crying. And so I thought, what did I do last time I felt this way? And that's how familiar that feeling was, that it put me back to that time. And so I asked myself that question, like, what did I do last time? And it was like, oh yeah, I set a goal to become a millionaire, because I ended up losing all, like, this is 5 years. I lost all my real estate. I ended up keeping one. So you have all these losses. So, you know,
You have something, you lose something, you have something, you lose
yeah,
something.
yeah. So like all my houses that I like, all the investment properties and stuff like that I had,
Uh-huh.
they were all like gone, lost, and because I couldn't keep up with anything, because you know, so damaged, and spine's all twisted up and all this stuff. So so I asked myself, what did I do last time? And that was, oh yeah, I set a goal to become a millionaire. I'm like, okay, I have to set a goal to become a millionaire and I'll feel better. And because I like, at this point I wasn't, you know, not a millionaire now. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to become a millionaire. I'm like, hold on, I'm not going to do that. That's like, I've already done that. So that's not a challenge anymore. I'm like, I'm going to do 10 million. And then I'm like, no, I'm going to do 100 million. And then I stopped and I thought about it. I'm like, money isn't going to do it for me. That's not fulfilling for me anymore, because I set my goal before when I was broke, and I know how to make money. I've already done it in the past.
Yeah.
So I made a goal to impact 1 million people, 1 million plus people, because I want to impact more than 1 million people. So I thought, okay, well, how am I going to do that? And then when you start asking yourself positive questions, you look for positive answers. And so I thought, okay,
I want to say that again. Say that again. If you look
when you
for
ask
positive
questions,
questions,
and then you look for the positive answers that are going to help you get to where you want to get to. And so it was about, I made it about people and serving people and impacting people in a positive way. And I thought, how am I going to do this? I'm only one guy. So I created Creative Discovery Group. And even though I was just the one guy, I had it in my mind that this is going to be a community of people who want to do good and want to impact the world in a positive way. So the one guy was a group at that time. So there's only myself, but I had the vision of creating, right? So
the army of one.
yes. And so we ended up, I ended up creating Creative Discovery Group. So I took life coaching courses and whatnot. And I created this, it ended up becoming this huge thing. And now we're spread throughout 12 different countries. We have close to 40 coaches. And some of the work we're doing is we're providing solar panels and batteries for, there's a war going on in Yemen for the past 5 years. So we're providing like the village with power. Also another company reached out to us, and we're doing coaching and consulting for teachers and students in Ghana, Africa, because of the COVID and then the way people are feeling out there. And so, you know, we made it about people. And I figure, like, once you make it about people, money is going to come. Like, you already know how to do stuff. It's going to come to you. It's a byproduct of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you're chasing money, that's only going to get you so far. But when you make it about people and community and doing good work, and then all the other stuff, you know, it sort of lines up for you.
Yeah. It really, when you add value, when you're adding value to the world, it just seems to show up in a different way. I think that energy is completely different, and it's really important for people to understand that. And it seems to some people that haven't experienced it kind of counterintuitive, because you think, well, why wouldn't I go after money? And it seems like, well, just continue to add value, and different conversations take place. Different people show up, and all of a sudden you're known for something other than just wanting to make money, you know? And I just want to, just like right now, you know, we got several people in in the room right now. I just want to give a shout out to Randall. Randall and Calvin are in the room in New Orleans. He's done some amazing growth in the food industry. You know, he's just continue. If you're not connected with Calvin and Randall, get connected there. Kavuma is here. Hello, how are you? And then Nick over at Pipe Dream Solution. Dude, been there, brother. He was talking about your story earlier. And then Ozeal from Houston, thank you so much for being here. Sherry Lolly, the universe was trying to give you a sign to slow down and find something you needed.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. You know, I had a very similar situation, and you know, kind of the same kind of journey. It's like my home was my car, and it's like I went camping for a while there for a minute. So Nick says, when you are one-dimensional, out of alignment, life will take you out. It's trying to teach you a lesson. Yeah, pretty much. And then JD, hi, Pirates from Spain. Thank you so much. And then Howard Kaufman here in Phoenix. It is the difference between means to an end versus end to a means. I like that. I like that. Thanks for sharing that. And Donnie Ray, greetings from Germany. You know, I want to talk a little bit about go a little deeper into this creative discovery group and what it entails. What is it that your requirements, and how do people get involved and engaged and contributing and helping out? What does that look like? What does that mean? Because I know that you're working with another pirate, Gina Gardner. She was on the show, and she's doing a lot of great work, outreach, and you know, they're just having conversations with people that are interested in giving back and contributing to society. So how does that fit into what you're doing right now?
So we actually have drawn in, like, people hear about what we're doing and they get interested. So we've created, like, we're so creative. Like we don't set any real rules. As long as people are good people and they want to impact the world in a positive way, we welcome people to join. And so we have create your own adventure program, and it's like an internship program.
Yeah.
So we have a leader who takes care of that end, and then we have, you know, marketing and sales team, and they're like, hey, we love what you're doing, and they want to be a part of it. And they're like, so all these people who come in, they all, we're all doing this together. Like I can't do anything by myself. I can only do so much by myself, I should say.
Yeah.
But when you create the team of people who want to impact the world in a positive way, you know, I'd say reach out to any one of our members. There's a CDG World on our website, so you can see some of the things that we're doing. You know, so some of the events that we were going to put on, we had to stop because of this COVID.
Sure.
But yeah, and then also with Gina, we connected on LinkedIn, and then that's just weird how all this stuff works, because, you know, it all sort of,
I know.
Circle
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I never thought I'd be like talking on camera. Like I was kind of shy from the camera, and I'm not a speaker, like really, you know, go out there and give a big talk kind of guy. So yeah. Anyhow, we connected, and we ended up starting this podcast. And because again, it's all about doing good and impacting.
Yeah.
And just the people we've been able to get the attention of. Like we had Mary Buffett, who is 9-time best-selling author, you know, daughter-in-law of Warren Buffett, and creator of Buffett Online School. And like she was on our show a week ago. And
that's amazing.
Having these conversations and the people, like, and yourself, like, you know, there's so many people doing good. Like that's huge. What you're doing is 300 shows in a time when most people are like shutting down businesses and people are like living in fear. That's when the leaders really stand out, is when times are rough, what are those people doing? Like, who are the people that are making that impact and like making positive change, right?
Yeah.
So I think when things are good, a lot of people can lead because what do they have to lose, right? They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But when things are crumbling down, who are the people that are standing out?
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Well, and I think, you know, and we were talking about this before the show, is the idea that challenges also develop opportunities. There's a lot of things that, you know, the most challenging moments in my life, much like yourself, you know, when you're down deep and you're thinking, how did I get here? Why me? And you're thinking a little bit like a victim, and you're thinking to yourself, well, what did I do to deserve this? It's like, you know, maybe this is and then turn it around and say, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn from this? What am I going to take away from this that's positive? And then you start grabbing a hold of the lessons in life, and you say, I can get out of this. I can get past this. I'm better than this. I'm going to grow beyond this. And when you change your direction and start asking different questions, like you said, you know, when you start asking, how can I help? How can I achieve success with more people? And all of a sudden different people show up in your life. Different conversations take place. And I really want to emphasize the idea that right now you and I are individuals that have been beat down. We've had things, we've achieved results, and then we've done it more than once. And so we're going to continue to do it, and we're going to continue to add value. So applause, hats off to you. So thank you for being there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And so with Gina and the podcast, tell us a little bit more about that, expand on that, and what's the direction you're going to take that next?
Yeah, so we had our first series, and the first series was about coaching. So people would come on the show, and you know, we wouldn't know what their challenge, like they weren't allowed to tell us what their challenge is, because we didn't want to be prepared for it. So we wanted to make it interesting, sort of fun, and help the guest on our show through whatever they're facing. So whether it's business, personal, anything. And we had so many different like stories come from that. So it was up to us within that hour to take somebody from hearing their challenge to helping them work through it and giving them some sort of new insight. And we'd have an hour to do it. So we completed the first series. Everybody loved it. Like we had so many people, like everybody like gave us like a positive video, like or testimony, I guess. So the second series was we shifted it a little bit. So instead of us coaching, we started getting leaders, and you know, it's a business and leadership podcast. So we had leaders tell their story about their challenges, what they faced, and what they went through to achieve the goals that they have now. And like the guests that we have are like, and I don't even know how we ended up with half of these people, but like we were talking about Mary Buffett. We have an Olympian, Travis Cross, who's coming on the show next week. Steve Sims, you know Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show.
He's a pirate.
Yeah. We have Rocky from R&D Entertainment Agency. He's you know, he works with Paris Hilton and Jamie Foxx and like all these big names. But it's people who are willing to share their story that's going to help other people grow. Like so many of us human beings face some of the same things and we don't know what to do with it. So by having guests like that on the show who can share their story, and maybe somebody can take like a gold nugget out of there and be like, hey, you know what? I love that story. That's inspiring to me. Maybe I could do the same, or, you know, help them make that little bit of a shift.
Well, and that's what I love to hopefully bring to the table on the Pirate Broadcast is, we all are challenged. We all have our moments. We all have our things that we're going through. And it's like, hopefully somebody can look at this conversation and say, wow, I can relate to this, and I could be that person. And, it's great to see them get past it. It's great to see them get through this process and this journey and whatever challenges exist.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you're back making connections like you are, and making a difference, making it matter.
Yeah.
It's really one of those things that is relatable. And I think everybody wants to hear a story where they can imagine they can fit in.
Yeah.
We all have something to contribute. We all have a gift in this life. And as long as we're contributing back into the world and we're doing something positive, I think the outcomes cannot be anything but positive.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah. So how do we reach out and get a hold of you, and what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Well, we have creativediscoverygroup.com. That's our website.
Okay.
So you can connect with me on there.
Is it
creativediscoverygroup.com? Yeah.
Okay. We'll put that in the show notes and everything. It'll be found later.
Okay. And if anybody wants to get more information and become a part of the team, or like we even have like a coaching program. There's a lot of people who are looking to become coaches. So we have a certification program. They can email me at s.krishan, Krishan, at creativediscoverygroup.com. And then we have Instagram, creative_discovery_group. And then also on LinkedIn. I'm active on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is my jam.
Yes. Yeah. I love LinkedIn.
I do as well. So, although I used to be more active on Twitter and Instagram. I've been on LinkedIn since 2005, so I've been there for a while. So,
yeah.
But social is always evolving, and I really encourage people not to get too hung up on what platform. And it's like I've taught every platform there is, it seems like. And there's always going to be something coming around the corner, and changes in the algorithm and everything that goes along with that. So, just be yourself, create video. I love video, and, put stuff out in the world that's going to help someone out. That's the rule.
Yeah. When you make it about other people and you just want to do good, I think your whole life, it just shifts because your focus is more positive, right?
It is positive.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Well, I really want to stress the fact that, you're doing some great work now. You're back on track, helping other people, achieve impacting in a positive way over 100 million people. That's a pretty big goal. How far along are you on the spectrum as far as what you feel you are?
That's a tough question. I just feel like if I'm focused to set that goal, like I don't have like a counter that I can click. So you know what I mean? I just
going to say is you don't know where the ripples are going, right?
Yeah. So if I'm focused and like I know like being spread out through so many countries and I feel like I'm just getting started too.
Yeah.
Like this is, to me, it's still like brand new. So
you're young.
There's big places that we want to go, and again, like I don't make it about me. Like I could share my story.
It's not about the numbers.
No. Yeah.
That's
and then
just numbers.
Yeah. So with 40 whatever coaches that we have, I know that they're all reaching out. So it's like that ripple effect we were talking about. Like if I help somebody else succeed, they're going to be able to go and do their job, and they're going to help some other people. And then those people it's going to change their lives, and they're going to go ahead and help somebody else. So it's that sort of thing that we're doing.
I love that. Well, Sukhdev, I really appreciate the fact that you're here and we had this conversation. And tell Gina hello. Tell her I said hi, and send I'll have to send her a message and let her know that you were on the podcast. And
Yeah.
when the episode launches, then I could bring both of you together in the creative discovery group and share it out again and put something
Awesome.
out there special. So
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, and keep doing what you're doing. This is awesome. 300 shows, and and you're doing so much awesome work out there, and it's impacting people in a good way, and keep it up.
Oh, thank you. All the gratitude in the world.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I just want to give a shout out to Russ, Leah Hedge, Donnie Ray, Howard Kaufman, all of the individuals that came here to the show today. And thank you so much for all the work that you do, and keep doing great work. And we'll have you come back in the future when you get a couple more achievements under your belt, and just stay in touch. And let's make sure we go out and do good work, have fun, because kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. Don't go away. Be right back. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.